Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Ann Birchard. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to make this card. And we're going to be using our masks to create this really pretty background and then embellish it with the Dragonfly Garden. So let's make a card. Set this aside. I'm going to start off with Very Vanilla, and I cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to be using, oh, excuse my head, some repositionable adhesive, just so it doesn't move on my work surface. Place that down. And then I'm going to be using this lovely stencil. And I'm going to be using washi tape to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Let me get a little bit more. If you don't have washi tape, you could use regular Scotch tape. That'll be fine. I'm going to bring in the Versamark and I'm going to smush it. Very technical term. You want to make sure that that pad is going to the cardstock. Keep smushing. I'm going to treat this washi tape like a hinge. Lift it up, and I know you can't see it, but I can see that I've gotten a good coverage of the Versamark. So go ahead and lift this up, and don't forget to wash this off. You don't want it sticky. And I'm going to peel this up, bring in my chamois. Oops, sorry, shaking everything. Just because I don't want to sit my project in the Versamark. Alright, I think we're good. Let that dry. I'm going to come in and I'm going to sprinkle it with the gold embossing powder. You want a nice coverage all over. If you don't have one of these powder buddies, you can use printer paper, fold it in the center, and then just collect all your embossing powder to put back into the pot. There we go. Tap off the excess. Make sure I got everything. I think we're good. Let me set this aside and pour this back in. This makes it nice and handy. But I know if I don't pick it up now and I turn on my heat gun, it is going to be everywhere. So while I'm doing this, go ahead and text Ann Birchard, one word, all caps, to the number 22828 to get on my mailing list. I send out monthly newsletters with tips, tricks, and techniques, and any sales that Stampin' Up! May be having. All right, set all of that aside. Bring in our heat tool and melt. This is the best part of watching it melt. It's like magic. Right, looking good. Make sure I got all that off. So let's go ahead and set that aside. I'm going to bring in some very vanilla, just some scratch paper. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Bring in my Stamparatus. And since line that up here. Now, I liked the shape of this stamp, and I don't have a punch for it. So what I did was I laid it down on my cardstock. Just take a pencil, lightly outline the stamp. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, your fingers are going to stick, because you can always erase the line when we're done. Put it back. When you use a Stamparatus and your stamp has rubber on it, you do not need the black rubber mat in it. Pull that out. You'll need that when you're using photopolymers. I'm just going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. You can see my outline. Give this good ink. Stamp, give it a massage, a little CPR, a little more CPR. There we go. We're good. I'll wipe this off. I can set this aside now. And I'm just going to use my paper snips. And I'm going to cut along the outline from the stamp. And any stray pencil marks, I'm just going to erase it when I'm done. Get off. Remember to hold the paper, move the paper, hold the scissors straight so you're pivoting inside the scissors, if that makes sense. There we go. Trash, and come back in. Get rid of some of the pencil marks. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now let's come in with our stamp. I'm going to be using this Dragonfly. That's not going to fit. Let me get some more Very Vanilla. That'll work. And again, I'm going to be using the Tuxedo Black ink, not the Versamark. I suppose you could, but for this technique, we want something that is alcohol safe. And let me put that right here. Actually up here. Nope, I gotta punch it. There we go. Clean this off. We're gonna be using the Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol based. So your outline ink needs to be alcohol proof, if you will, so that the colors don't blend all over the place and your line will smear. So I have the light and dark Balmy Blue, Highland, Purple Posy, and Daffodil Delight. So I started off with the blue, the dark Balmy Blue, and I just divided the wings into about thirds. No precise measurement on that. Give it a good go. Then the dark Purple Posy. Overlapping a bit. And again, thirds. And then finally the Daffodil Delight, all darks. And this tip. And I did his body as well in the gold. Then I came back with the light, and where the two colors meet, I'm going to blend. And there. Just to add another layer of color. And then the light purple posy between these two. Now you see where I went out of the lines? Bring in your color lifter, and I can go back in, and that will push the color back in, if you will. If you don't see immediate results, just let it dry. And then come back in and do it a little bit more. And that'll fade it away. All right, we're gonna call that good. Set those aside. I'm gonna be using the coordinating punch. It has the big dragonfly and a little guy. So you can save the little guy and decorate the inside with it. Line it up with your punches. You always want to punch from the underside. So now I can line up the image. I know I have an equal border all the way around, and I can punch. There we go. I'll save this little guy for later. Set that aside. And now let's go ahead and build our card. I'm also going to be using Very Vanilla for the base as well. I cut it at 5.5. You can score it at 4 1/4 or just fold it in half and give it a good press with your bone folder. Nice and loud bone folder. I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal all the way on the outside edge. There will be some warping because you applied heat. So in this case, we want lots of adhesive so it doesn't move and it will start to hold it flat. I'm making sure that there's an even border on the top and the two sides, and in doing so, I know that the bottom will be even as well. Then I'm going to come in and use dimensionals, both the regular size dimensionals and the mini ones. So 2 big guys here, then some little ones for the wingtips and his head. There will be a crawler at the bottom for host rewards. If you're placing an order and it's less than $150, use that code so I can send you a gift. If your order is more than $150, don't use it because you'll get your own rewards and you'll get to pick whatever you want. Now I'm taking one of these mini dimensionals and I cut it in half so I can place it on his body. And this guy. There we go. And then, whoops, I took off the whole thing instead of just the release paper. Try again. We can do this. Here's 1, 2. You can also use your take your pick tool to get these off. But I'm gonna go rogue here. Just use my fingers. I think I got them all. Yep. All right. I'm gonna put it down here in the corner. add my sentiment. Tuck it under here. And of course, we are not done. Get out your Wink of Stella. Give this dragonfly a little sparkle. Just that little bit ties it into the background, and I love it. Well, there you have it. Another very simple, very easy card that you can make on your own. Let me know if you like it. Leave me some comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed this crafting experience with a civil engineer, and we'll see you next week. Bye.